Fine and there once was a podcast in the great internet of internets. It was called Fine and Dandy. Muy influential podcast. You have to remember, folks, where there's a podcast, there's a Fine and Dandy.
What a weekend it has been.
What an end to the week.
What a start of the week, I guess.
So, are you a glass half full or half empty type of guy, I guess, at that point?
Is it the end of the weekend or the start of another?
Yes.
Guess it's for you to decide. Damn, does this chair have a lifty thingy?
On the side.
Right? Broken off and I didn't know.
Maybe you just got to spin really fast and it'll go up.
Hold on, I got it. Hell yeah, dude. Shit was low as
you didn't even like raise up that much.
shit was low as fuck, dude. I was like, holy shit.
Hell yeah.
Did I get shorter or is
Just a little bit. Not noticeably.
figure out what happened for a second. Oh. We are here though. Thank you to everyone tuning in. I want to give big thanks to everyone who does listen consistently. You guys are fucking awesome. Honestly, all 5 of you. Just kidding. I don't know. You know.
Yeah, 4.
Yeah. Nah, but to everyone who actually does listen consistently, you know, it means so much to me, to Josh. I know we talk a lot of bullshit on here. We do get serious sometimes, but to everyone who actually does take the time out to not just watch the clips, but also listen to the full podcast. I know it's a lot, an hour out of anyone's day these days, you know, and if it's not a little 2-minute TikTok or 30-second clip, it's a lot.
I mean, I appreciate the love, but it is only an hour out of your day. You could afford to love us a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Well, on that, you know, I guess is the cup half empty or half full? Am I right?
It's just an hour a week, really. I mean, we got an episode a week. You know what I mean? I could use one a year. What's 24 times 7?
Yeah, we are only doing 1 week. It's not like one episode. We're not dropping, you know, like 2 a week or anything like that. We'll get there though.
3-4 hour episodes or anything like that. So I mean,
really though, you know,
I'm not asking you guys to strap in or anything like that.
Most of these podcasts are like 2 or 3 hours long. So I mean, really, what's an hour? You know?
Yeah,
grand scheme of thing.
On your way to work, on your way back, and you're in the bathtub taking a load off. Whenever your mom's chirping your ear off, and you know you just want to throw an AirPod in and mute the rest of the world out. We're here for you. You know, we got your back. We are fine and dandy. And you could also be fine and dandy.
We're here for you guys. No, it was funny because somebody had come up to me and told me, like, I really love y'all's podcast because it just feels like it's not scripted. Thanks.
It's not.
It's not. It's not scripted.
Not at all.
I would have to script that, and that's a lot of work.
I don't got that in my bag.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like writing a script feels like I've never written a script, so maybe it's not as conceptually hard as I think it is, but it just seems like it would be like difficult to write like dialogue from multiple perspectives and make it make sense. Does that add up?
I mean, writing scripts are hard, but also for a podcast, I don't get. I mean, people do it, you know. It's a TV show, you know.
Right.
I don't. Every show is different though. It's not, you know, every podcast isn't gonna be the same.
I mean, it's not to like shit on scripted shows because I mean, some of it is information that's supposed to get out and in that way. And whenever you script it, maybe it feels like it's scripted, but it maybe is a little bit tighter and like a more collected thought because it's scripted instead of like being like how do I describe this type of thing.
Yeah, and sometimes they throw in like skits and stuff, you know. So I mean, it would make sense to script that stuff out and kind of
you'd
get
want that stuff to be like prepared.
Yeah, you need it to be prepared. I mean, you could do it off top, but
right.
I don't think it would come out
that's
as
like
good.
I mean, like it's like the difference between like comedy and improv. You know what I mean? Like they both have their place. That makes sense.
Yeah, like the stuff that's written out and stuff that's off the top. Yeah, both definitely have their place and both definitely have their moments. And I enjoy both either way, you know.
Right.
To each their own. But yeah, piggyback off what I was saying before, you know, Josh was like, "Hey, you fuckers,
Hey, dude.
Nah,
Fuck you.
you should watch our shit though." Nah, big shout out to everybody. Big love to everybody out there and to everyone who's, you know, trying to make it, everyone who's trying to keep doing their thing. Keep pushing along, keep doing it, you know. Don't let anybody else, don't let anything else that's going on in life try to dissuade you from whatever you got going on.
Yeah,
Keep
dude.
doing you. Just keep doing you. Keep doing your thing. Keep allowing life to live. Allow the river to flow, you know.
Yeah.
Flow like water. That's what Bruce Lee or Alan Watts both, I think, said that. Flow like water, dude.
You gotta flow.
Just keep flowing. So this past weekend, went to a wedding. Congrats to the newlyweds, by the way. You know,
Shout out Malik. He's been on the podcast before.
he has been on the podcast before. Malik and Kimberly, now, Riles. Both of them are now part of the Riles family.
And they're getting all riled up.
Oh, shit.
shit.
They're getting riled. I should have said that. Damn, that's fucking looking, you know. Always hindsight, right? Hindsight. Damn, that would have been a good one. Be like, we're getting riled up. Fuck, that would have been good. I would have really I feel like I would have got the crowd pumping with that one, you know. I mean, I didn't give a speech or anything, but I feel like if I would have said that, I would have.
Said I didn't give a speech or anything.
But, like, just saying
fucking
it.
Take the mic. It's like drunk as hell. It's like, it's time to get riled up, everybody.
Oh, nah, that definitely would have looked at like I was an idiot. But it was a great time. Love was definitely in the air. I hadn't, like, it was probably one of my, I mean, I've only been to 2 weddings, so sorry to the.
It's one of my favorite weddings. It's one of the 2 I've been to.
Yeah, I apologize to the 2 other people whose wedding I was in both weddings. So no shade. Just I do think that I do enjoy this one a little bit more. It was childhood friends. I mean, both weddings were childhood friends. So, but
Dude, stop it, Orion. Go lay down somewhere. You're doing too much. He keeps putting his head in my freaking lap.
yeah, he was doing the same to me. But
No.
I grew up with both of them, and I think it was since like freshman year of high school. I was kind of watched the birth of it happen. I mean, they got together like a little bit before I started freshman year of high school, but I was already friends with Malik.
The inception of the relationship, if you will.
Yeah. And then I was kind of just through
The birth of it happened. I was like, somebody had a kid.
birth of the relationship. I mean, it's just the beginning, right? Birth is just the
Or is
creation
it
of
the
the
end?
end of one life, beginning of another, right? It was awesome being there. And I mean, most of her family I knew too, growing up, and then, you know, I knew his family, a good chunk of his family too. It was awesome. It was just a really good time. It really like made me kind of put into perspective like the little things in life. You know, it's like talking to a lot of people I hadn't talked to in a long time, and like sharing those moments as well. You know, catching up. It was one of those few moments I will say, like when I was catching up with people, I didn't feel, you know, it was like it was more of a burden than it was, you know, actually. Like, how are you?
Mhm.
Like everyone I talked to, it was like how are you, rather than, you know, just what are you up to? You know,
Right.
everyone was actually genuinely
wondering how you were
how
doing.
you've been, how you, and you know, that's always a good feeling to be around
Yeah.
people like that, which was another reason I really liked being there. It was very family oriented too, like
Mhm.
very at the core, like at both sides, big families, very family centered, and it was great. It was a really good time. Like when you see stuff like that, you know, it really makes you believe in love again, I guess you could say. You know,
Right.
when you lose faith sometimes. You
I
know,
feel
out
that.
here.
I mean, I've still lost faith in love. I'm not necessarily like completely lost in it. More so just like, I guess, not prepared for another run at it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean that's easy to happen to anybody.
Yeah.
Though. You know, it's easy to happen.
But
to you,
I
so.
mean, for me, it's more so just not necessarily like the love itself. It's everything that surrounds it. It's for me, from my past at least, I've had like issues with like not the relationship itself, but like her family didn't like me, so that was like a barrier between us. And then I've had issues with just like immaturity, both on my end and their end. So it's just like I found myself currently in a place where I understand I'm not ready for love. Doesn't necessarily like express what I'm trying to say, because it's not like I'm not ready. It's more so that like whenever I want my next relationship to happen, I want to be the best version of myself. And as currently, I understand that I'm not. So therefore, I know that I'm not ready for it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean that is a big thing. That's a big thing for me. After breaking up with my ex this last time, I mean honestly, it was disappointing, but it was sad for like maybe a few weeks to a month or whatever. But bounced back pretty fast. It was in a big proprietor of me moving forward was just understanding I gotta push myself. I gotta get better. There's all these things. I mean, still I want to get better at. I'm still working on incorporating into my everyday life. Just being an adult. Just fitting all these things into your life, making time for everything. I mean, I think a lot of people don't even know how to do that. Just make time for the things that
Time management.
Yeah. I think that's a huge part.
It's a skill. I mean, to a certain degree, it's something you have to hone in on, and I'm not the best at it, but I mean, some of the most successful people in the world, I mean, their deepest, like, and most exorbitant skill that they use is time management. It's not that they're any better at anything than you. It's just that they manage their time a little bit better. They're not worried about what new video game came out, and they're not worried about staying at the bar till close to see what happens. They're in bed getting some rest because I got shit to do tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, it's not all of. I mean, yeah, it is a certain level of like, you don't have to be the most successful person in the world, but that doesn't mean taking your life a little bit more seriously isn't required for you to get past what you're currently in.
Yeah, looking at the both of them, it made me realize, we all look at love as this extravagant. It is an extravagant. It's a very beautiful thing. It's extravagant. It's beautiful. It's a very heartwarming thing. When you see it in front of you, it does inspire you a little bit. Reminds you of all those things, growing up that you might have believed in, or all those little things. And it brought up a lot of things for me, man. And, it's easy to become bitter. I was, for me, I become cynical in a lot of ways, and I think there's a lot of things I've become bitter about and in life, just because it's easy to, especially, everybody has their own agendas, and everybody feels like things should go their way, and life should go their way, rather than kind of, it's a mutual thing, at all times. Regardless, it doesn't even have to be, a romantic relationship, friendships. It's always supposed to be mutual, but I mean, we kind of forget that somewhere along the way for most of us, I think.
I think it's difficult.
I mean, perfect example. I mean, I live with you, you know what I mean? And hey, it's me. But every day, I mean, I see you often. I see you almost every day. But that also is easy to kind of get caught up in that just everyday cycle. Like I see, hey, howdy partner, see you just go about our day, go into your room and do whatever, sleep, just like unwind from the day of work that you just had. Or whatever, and I mean, we each have our own separate lives too, so you might have to go see your family, or go watch football. Me, I have, I might go getting breakfast or dinner with whoever, or whatever the case may be. Go to a show, yeah. So I mean, it's easy to get caught up in both that and really just not just sit there and be like, man, how you been, or just tell the other person you love them,
Why y'all married? Like,
Creatures of habit. Rather just do the same formula than switch it up.
damn it. How long has that been going on? We'll find out later. But I mean, it's difficult though, because it's easy to get caught up in your own little world. You know what I mean? And it really is that. Like, as big as this planet is, as big as the universe is, it's made apparent to us every single day how small our reality really is. You know what I mean? Like, how many people can you see in a day? Not talk to, but see. It's like maybe 1,000, 2,000, 10,000. There's 10,000 plus more people times the amount of people that you can see in a day type shit on this planet, living their own lives, being a person. That's like, you know what I mean? It's like whenever you take it into the grand scheme of things, it's like the insignificance that is significant. Does that make sense?
No.
It's significant to us, but it's insignificant to the world.
Yeah.
The things that we take so deeply, darkly to be most important over anything, but it really holds almost no importance to the actual way of life that we exist in society, at least.
Yeah, but I mean, what's significant to you at the end of the day is kind of what matters.
To you, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that's what I mean is that like it's insignificant, but it's significant to you.
It is crazy though, because especially, you know, when I was sitting there and like I said, I grew up with both of them, knowing both of them. They are very much so. They're good at prioritizing what's important to them, you know.
Mhm.
And I think that is hard for a lot of people, you know. And I talked to them, and you know, of course, love is in straight road.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of ups and downs, lefts and rights, you know,
Yeah.
long and winding road, so to speak. And, you know, so he had moved to Tennessee for a little while, too.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just telling me, you know, like, because he started his real estate journey out there.
Right.
And he's doing fine now, you know what I mean? But I don't know anyone who knows anything about real estate. It's not an easy road to get into, especially now the market's so volatile. There's
Right.
so much going on. If you're jumping into it as a sales, it's a sales job. That's what real estate is. You know, you're trying to sell property, you're trying to sell like houses to people, get people into a home. But you know, like any sales job, it's feast or famine. You're either making sales or you're not making sales. So there was, you know, when he was getting started, there's a point in time he wasn't really getting much, you know. New kid on the block, so he doesn't have a lot going on. But they didn't really have much to work off of because they had just moved out there and all this
Right.
stuff. I mean, eventually, over time, he started making money and she got a good job and they ended up making money. But they didn't have much, you know, at that time. And, you know, they stuck by each other through the whole thing. That's in itself is something I think a lot of people don't have now.
Yeah.
That's something, you know, like that's something I look at all the time. Is like, okay, you love me now because I'm taking care of everything. Anything could be gone in an instant. Like
Yeah.
things, like life is very,
Unpredictable.
for sure unpredictable. But you know, anything could happen at the drop of a dime.
I mean, for me, it's like you have to mitigate expectations. You know what I mean? It's like just because someone's with you while you're up, I guess, while you're taking care of business, while everything's taken care of, doesn't mean you should necessarily expect them to do anything whenever things aren't going your way or y'all's way. I mean, you'd like to be able to hold that expectation because it is something that, well, you're like, well, if you don't want me when I'm down, then why do you want me at all type shit, you know what I mean? But, like, theoretically speaking, it's difficult to make claims like that because, again, like, you are talking to another person with their own life that is choosing to join their life with you, whether it's for the right reasons or wrong reasons. Usually it's the wrong reasons. But whenever it is the right reasons, you do get this type of love where you can find, okay, you're not only with me because I'm up.
Yeah, but
You know what I mean?
I think also a point I was trying to make is, you know, in situations, especially, you know, ones of spending the rest of your life with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's based on your values. You know what I mean?
Right.
Your morals and your values and how you view life, and I mean that's one of them. You know, it's what's important to you.
Mm-hmm.
What's really important to you, especially about this relationship that
Mhm.
we're currently in. Like, what matters to you in this, and if that doesn't align,
Right.
it's gonna be hard. I mean, that's probably one of the, like, you know, it's, you know, everyone tries to figure out the formula, right?
Yeah.
Is it, you know, okay, y'all like the same music, but that doesn't mean, you know, necessarily you're
Right.
gonna last, or, you know,
No,
y'all really
yeah.
have the same viewpoints on certain things,
But
which
that's
is still
all surface
important.
level.
Yeah. So I mean, it's
But-
really what are your morals and values at the end of the
Yeah.
day, and it's all, you know, part of that is what's the part of the vows, through thick and through thin, you know?
Right.
It's like one of the things they say right before when you are getting married.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. Is, are you really going to be able? I mean, people just hear that shit and they're like, oh yeah, cool, whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like we live in a different society than we're used to. I mean, even us, like we grew up in a society of like parents who preach that like a relationship is supposed to be a man and a woman, and it's supposed to be leading towards like marriage, and marriage is supposed to be two people that are love each other so much that they can join their love and try to create a family and procreate. And it's like there's all these things that were like preached to us as children that even we think are supposed to be normal, but like we live in a society where none of that shit exists. Where, I mean, it exists, but it's not the norm. It's not the status quo. It's not you have to get married. You have to be straight. You have to have kids. You have to do this. I mean, there's certain pressures from society, but like there's no real pressure unless you allow it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like if you have your morals and values and you stand by them, it's going to be very hard for somebody to change that shit. Is all I'm saying.
Oh, 100%. It was beautiful though. It was beautiful seeing two people actually be able to come together, you know, with those,
Right.
be able to go through those struggles and be able to share all that together, and you know, with their families and everyone being able to be there. A lot of people don't have that either, which I think is tough also for, you know, some people.
Mm-hmm.
I think is another thing I kind of realized. It was, you know, we all have different. It's something we don't realize, you know. It's something that may not even really matter that much to some people, but it's something you have to take into account. It's, you know, how are you raised? Were you poor growing up? It shouldn't matter, but it's also, you know, if you're poor growing up and somebody was rich growing up, y'all aren't gonna have necessarily all the same views on everything, you know.
I mean, it's also like, what have you done in your lifetime to affect the situation you've had while growing up? You know what I mean? A lot of people affected in the way that like they follow the path that they've been on since growing up, whether that's a good path or a bad path. It's difficult to change that path, to go from good to bad or bad to good. It's difficult to see the things that you grew up in and decide that you will not tolerate that anymore. You know what I mean? Like that's a difficult thing to do, is to be able to provide a situation that changes your situation.
That too. I mean, there are a lot of people also that, you know, they end up doing that and they don't want to ever go back to where they were, you know.
I mean, I was listening on a podcast about like there used to be like Native American tribes that would kidnap soldiers. Like I don't know if it was Spanish. Rescued. Or within the tribe, but they understood what life was like, that they didn't want to go back to their society. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like they were enlightened on what life could be.
Yeah.
While being prisoners of war, and didn't want to go back to
actually maintaining
society.
and taking care of each other, you know, living in an ecosystem that works off of each other and everything, rather than, you know, it's individualistic where it's, you know, we all have to provide, which I mean, it's weird because it's living in a system where everyone has to provide. They're both the same in that aspect, you know. You have to provide, but one's more so like you're providing for status, whereas the other one's like, more so like you're providing.
The reward system has to be so much better too, because it's like on one end you feel like you're a part of a system, while on the other end you actually are a part of that system. You know what I mean? Like you can feel like I'm a soldier, I'm serving my country. It's like you might not really be doing anything to defend your country. You just signed your life away for 4 years. You know what I mean? In this other situation, you are absolutely being utilized in this tribe, and you can see the benefits and rewards of what your work is doing. Whether that's feeding someone, helping someone, healing someone, you know what I mean? Like your work is appreciated much more because of the maybe sample size of what you're able to do for that tribe or whatever.
Yeah, and I mean,
it's kind of like the same idea of like helping out your community before you help out your country. It's like, before we worry about 49 other states, let's see what you can do for this one.
Exactly. And going back to your original statement, I you know, coming from, you know, a different cultural background and, you know, coming into a different one, it's tough, you know, and trying to be able to understand, you know, both sides and kind of being able to integrate yourself into that. like I said, it doesn't matter what kind of relationship it is, whether it's a friendship or a romantic relationship. I think for a lot of people, though, they're like, I don't care, whatever, as long as I'm secure and stable, that's fine.
That's a weirder position for me. It's like security and stability being the most important thing for people.
That's my point. Is like that could collapse
Oh yeah,
at any moment.
What is your security based on? Money? The thing that's depreciating every day that we fucking live? Or is it based on a good job? The thing that the economy's based on? Fuck, I don't know. It seems like we have a very like unstable floor that you're trying to build stability on.
I think it's this that a lot of people don't think about or realize is, the differences between a strong relationship, because, you see people who have strong relationships that might bicker all the time. I know I'm probably going to be one of those people.
Yeah.
Like, not necessarily bicker, but I'm definitely going to give them shit, and I know they're going to give me shit back. I would only hope so, As I get older, too, I'm going to give less fucks, and it's just like, you fucking turn this shit down. I'm like, shut up. Like, this woman, I mean, that'll probably be me sometime down the line, but it's sticking through those moments. When you build such a strong foundation, I mean, we've talked about this a lot before. It's just within your relationships, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's that idea you can get through anything.
Yeah.
If you have a strong enough foundation, you can always rebuild. You can always rebuild from that. If the foundation's faulty, you're fucked.
Yeah. True.
It's done for. You're going to have to start all over.
If it's even salvageable.
Exactly. But if you focus on that foundation and you build strong from that, it doesn't, the building could collapse, but you're good.
Right.
You know what I mean? You could always rebuild that building. That's the easier part.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that can be done. You have the people around you. You have your loved ones. You'll have whatever to help you through whatever the case may be. And it's just going back to that, the people who got kidnapped, the tribes, they work together so well that they're good.
Right.
Wherever they're at, they know how to work together. They know how to live off the land. They know how to use their resources so well with each other. They're fine.
Right.
They're good. Now, you take that, the people who got kidnapped, right? Wherever they came from, the civilization that they had come from. I guarantee you strip away the luxuries that they were used to, they're fucked.
Yeah.
They don't know what the fuck's going on.
Right. I mean, it's just, I guess it just goes back to, like, the comfortability factor. It's like, how comfortable are you in the situation that you're in, and what are you basing that off of? You know what I mean? Like, because, like you said, like, a lot of that shit is shaky, and it can be very momentary or short-sighted, at least.
100%. And it was beautiful too. They were I mean, together basically 11 years before they got married.
Right.
It's a long time. A decade, dude.
Yeah.
Shit, that's longer than most marriages. If you think about it.
That's true.
Shit, I know someone who just got engaged after a year being together. So I mean, I guess if you know, though. I mean, that's what people say, right?
Right.
That's the thing. I mean, I personally am someone like, what have we been through, really? For this to for me to really decipher how far this may go.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's like, I think it's difficult because you have so many different, like, perspectives. Like, people want to share their opinion on you and your relationship and things like that. And it's difficult to just mute all that shit. I mean, it's almost necessary to mute all that shit, but it's difficult. So, I mean, I can get it, but, like, I don't know. My advice to people would just be, like, do what feels right, man. I mean, trust your gut. See what happens.
True.
Don't be afraid to jump.
You should never be afraid to jump. Also, on a brighter note, just, it was weird, like, being there, because I'm not used to, well, I mean, the people I hang out with, I love all of y'all, for sure. But, like, usually when I go out in public and I'm talking to people and all that good stuff, it's draining most of the time.
No, I feel that.
It's really draining. It always feels disingenuine. It's never, like, really... That's why, I mean, I think that's also why I become bitter and cynical, is a lot of people, they don't really care. Yeah, and they're just worried about whatever they got going on.
Yeah.
As if that, I mean, don't get me wrong, like I said, each person's life is important. It's important to them, but also no one's life is so above.
It's not paramount. Yeah. And I feel that. I think it's just, what's the word? It's easy for people to get caught up in their own world. So it's hard for people to get out of that world and actually give a fuck. Because I mean, you know, it's like it's easy to say like, "Hey, how are you doing?" You know what I mean? It's hard to mean it. Hard to give a fuck. I think I've said that on this podcast before, and it really is. Because I mean, you gotta put all of your internal bullshit aside. You gotta stop thinking about that thing you've been thinking about all day. You gotta put all of your inhibitions about where you want this conversation to go in the fuck out the window and just actually listen, actively listen to somebody. And that's not easy to do for a lot of people. A lot of people are like, how are you doing? Damn, how do you spell the word amygdala in the back of their head type shit? You know what I mean? Like, while you're telling them how you're doing, they're in the back of their head like, what the fuck? What did I get on that math test last year? You know what I mean? Like, just like their brain will go anywhere else but paying attention to you. And it's difficult to be the guy that's, I'm actively listening every time. I feel like that's a skill too. You know what I mean? Like, actively listening.
Yeah. I don't know. Everyone I talked to was really just it was really good vibes. Like everyone was really, you know, it's good. It's like it's good to see you.
That's good.
Like I hope you're doing okay. I hope all is well. Type of a vibe rather than not. I think I'm gonna actually be hanging out with some of them soon too.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, it was nice. It was really nice.
Little reconnection.
I mean, yeah. It's always like I said, I grew up with a lot of them. So it was like, and when I grew up with them, it wasn't just like. You know, like you grow up with people and then you get like, what are you up to? You know, like I grew up with these fucking people, like with them almost every day for like almost my entire childhood. So
right.
That's also, you know, you kind of make that connection. It's kind of hard to falter from that, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, I feel that.
I mean, like whenever you're around the people who helped shape who you became to be, you know, kind of a different, I feel like, thing than it is.
I don't know. It's a weird thing about like memory too, because it's like you don't daily just think about those times that you had, but as soon as you see somebody that you had that experience with, it's almost like all that memory kind of floods back in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird how that works. I've thought about it before. Is like how people will say like one life leads into the other type shit on some reincarnation stuff. It's like, what if that's true, but like your memory's stored in the brain, not the consciousness? So while your consciousness may go from one body to another, maybe because you have a new brain, that's why you don't have any memory from your previous life.
I mean, if we're just gonna get on that for a second, people have said like in reincarnation to have memories of previous lives.
Well, but I was gonna say on that notice is like, what if that's just like your consciousness, like kind of breaking through and trying to like show you some of the things it's experienced, not necessarily having a true memory of the experience, but just like showing you that it has experience more than what you know.
It's crazy because those experiences like tend to like, I mean, whenever you do hear stories of reincarnation, like the person who was reincarnated seems to look
Similar
to the person previous life.
That's weird too.
I mean, I don't know the exact science. I don't know if there is an exact.
I don't know if there is an
exact science to that exactly, but yeah, no, that is a crazy thought.
No, yeah. I mean, for me, I think it's just it's very simple for us to like go through life, live a day to day, go to work, come home, eat, sleep, do it all, rinse, repeat tomorrow. Very simple for us to like be active humans. It's very difficult for us to like connect though. I think like the way that we connect is not the way we're supposed to. Like we connect on social media, we connect on texts and calls and all these different ways. And even like I said, even when we're in person, it's difficult for us to like put the world aside and actually connect with each other. It's difficult for us to not look at our phone on a date, even though we know that's pretty rude. Like, it's difficult for us to not look at our phone in the movie theater, even though there's a fucking thing that comes up before the movie saying silence all your phones, turn your screens off. You know what I mean? Like, we have these connections that aren't real connections. So we're not really connecting, even though we're telling ourselves and like inputting the connection like synapse into our brain, even though it's not happening.
Yeah, that wedding really struck something inside of me though. Like it was a cleanser, I guess you could say. You know, that little small break away from everything for a little bit. And don't get me wrong, I've been on, you know, I've taken multiple vacations this year, but this was just like a nice little getaway. Like I wasn't really going anywhere far necessarily, but it kind of just reminded me about the little things and being able to enjoy the little things. Like seeing a moment as small as that, going back to what you said is, it seemed to the world so insignificant, but in that moment, it's a very significant moment.
Yeah.
Being able to watch these two get married, and to me, looking all around, and everyone's gathered here for this one moment. Both parents are so happy and they're so excited. This is just such a beautiful moment for both parties.
Right.
Be able to, like, all of us actually being able to share that moment, be able to experience it, all of us making it out safely, being under one roof, and allowing that joy to spread, and like it is, like seeing what even just the idea, the glimmer of hope of what love is, seeing that and the effect that it has on everybody. Everyone always says, that wedding, when the love is in the air type of thing. You can really feel that, and it touched me because it was just, we go through life every day, man. It's mundane. Life is a mundane thing, and we get lost in it, and it's so easy, but there's so many beautiful things in the mundane things in life. It made me think about all the people I've met over these past couple of years, like the little moments that I've made with them, how I've gotten to know them, and the relationships that I've made with these people. Like, it's crazy how many relationships I made with these people over the last couple of years. People I might not speak to all the time, but I know that, we're good. And I still, I check up on them, and sometimes they'll check up on me, and it's because of those little things. That's why we, have those moments. It's a beautiful thing, and it really made me rethink everything, and it made me appreciate the life that I do have. Having you in my life. Shout out Shelby, the homie Darian. I mean, there's a lot of other friends, I could go on, but like those are just immediate people that I, in my life, like pretty frequently. And I'm just thankful to have those people, and it made me really thankful for like everything that I have and being able to enjoy those moments. Some people don't get to enjoy those moments, man. Like, it's easy to become bleak and stuff, but when you really take a look around about the things around you, and even if you might not have those, take that step to, hopefully better yourself. It's a hard thing to do, to bring yourself out of a hole, or, to look down on things and say, I had a couple bad things happen to me. Life is shit. There's always a chance to turn, as fast as there is a chance for things to go south, there is just as much of a chance for things to go up.
Yeah.
But we don't want to look at that. We'd rather get down on ourselves. We'd rather be sad.
Yeah.
We'd rather not want to look at the good things because it's just easier for us to feel bad. It's easier for us to be angry. It's easier for us to feel all these things rather than, take each individual moment and really, like, be able to change. Like, we look at things in a greater scheme, which is what makes it harder for us to change life, rather than looking at things in individual moments. What can I do right now? What can I do in this moment?
Yeah.
How did I feel in this moment? It's things like that.
Yeah, and you gotta, like, also, like, you have to be present, though. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that book, The Power of Now, you were telling me to read. And
yeah.
I need to read it, honestly. But, like, it's something my dad told me, too. It's probably something that book talked about. It's like, there's an old saying of saying, like, if you're thinking about the past, then you're living in a depressive state. If you're worried about the future, you're living in an like anxious state. Only when you're worried about the present can you be in a peaceful state. And that's kind of true. I mean, like, even when you're reminiscing on the past and it's a good time, it's like, what are you doing in that moment? I mean, I'm not saying that you shouldn't reminisce on the past, but it's kind of like a depressive state. You're almost like saying, like, oh, think about the good times that used to happen. It's like, what's bad about now? You know what I mean? Like, and it's also like, whenever you're worried about the future, it's like, well, you couldn't control that if you tried. And you can do everything you can step by step to lead up to that moment and still fail. So why are we trying to, like, it's like what fucking Rick said on Rick and Morty is like, he's like, do you have a plan B? He's like, planning to fail? It's even dumber than regular planning.
Exactly. Oh, like not even giving yourself a shot right now.
Right.
Just already kind of looking.
Why would I have a plan B while I'm still working on plan A?
Yeah. I think a lot of like depressive states, or even just not even just depressive states, but people who are angry all the time, it's them thinking about things that happened to them and already being mad, and then already just imagining whatever's going to happen next.
But I think that's what's interesting about depression is that there's so many different faces of it. There's the angry depressive. There's the I don't want to talk to you depressive. There's the I'm very social. I'm a social butterfly, but you wouldn't be able to tell that I'm depressed. Like there's so many different phases of depression that it's almost hard to pinpoint why someone is depressed if you're just going off of these notions of like, well, if you're angry, then it must be something in your past or something that you're still holding on to. Or if you're sad, then maybe something's going on right now in your life or something that you're holding on to in the past that you don't know how to deal with. It's like we don't even know what's going on, but because we see someone's like depressive face, we think that we can help, and you're not even really connecting to what that like catalyst is.
I mean, I'm not a professional. I mean, of course, anyone who is feeling those things should probably get professional help. But I mean, the most people can do, like the average person, for someone who is in a state like that, is just be there. That's it. That's literally it. There's you can always hope you could do more. It's just be there as much as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And that's it. There's no, hey, I'm trying to help you. It's I mean, you just got to be there for them. That's it every day. As much as they allow you to be.
Right.
And I know that's like hard for a lot of people. But I mean that is mostly the case. But what I was saying about that is just we focus more on the grand scheme than the individual moments that make up these things. What was it? One of my friends has like a type of anxiety. It's like a paralysis basically. Or you see how much you realize you have so much to do, you just end up doing nothing. You basically freeze up. Because you have all these things you know you need to do, but you just end up not doing any of the things. Yeah. Rather than just, being like, let me just do this one thing. You know what I mean? Instead of focusing on everything, focus on one thing. One little thing that you think you can do. Mm-hmm. One little thing that you think is going to be easy. Then what's the next little thing that you might think is going to be easy?
The small wins.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, what's the easiest thing I can get done right now? Boom, knocked it out. What's the next easiest thing I could do? Boom, knocked it out. All right, what's the next easiest thing that I could do? Boom, just knock it out. It's just, I mean, I used to be really bad about that. Like, I need to do all these things, and I just sit there and do nothing.
Yeah.
I'm getting way better. It's just, okay, I know I need to do all these things, just tackle one thing. And I'm like, okay, cool, that was easy. And then I just move on to whatever the next thing was that I needed to do that day.
Yeah.
Boom, knock it out. It's easy. All right, boom. What's the next thing? It honestly, it was crazy because it was just yesterday. Like, woke up really early, and then accomplishing all the things I did in that day, one, made me realize how much time I'm wasting by not waking up early. But two, also just realizing how much, like, I could get done within a small amount of time. Okay, there's so much you can get done. It's not hard. You just, your mind just fucks you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, dude, I have so much. It's gonna like for me, it's gonna take me so much time. I would just be wasting the time that I could have just been doing said thing, and I just, was like, oh shit, why was I wasting all this time not doing all these things?
It's easy to waste time though. It's like, I mean, it kind of goes back to like time management. It's like whenever you're not managing your time well, it's almost like time doesn't exist. It's almost like you're always late for everything because this and that and that and this. But like, realistically speaking, it's just that easy to waste time. It's that easy to stay in bed another hour. It's that easy to sit down and play on your phone. It's that easy to fucking go outside and while your dogs or kids are running around to just fucking do nothing. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of opportunity for people to waste time, and while there's also a lot of opportunity for people to use their time wisely, it's a lot more difficult to make that decision.
It's true. I guess it's all about what you want at the end of the day and how badly you want it.
It's just perspective, because it's like the way you see your time management today might not be the way you see your time management tomorrow. So, I mean, even with the same person, that could change on a daily basis. It's just that dedication, you know what I mean? That dedication of staying towards the goal that you want to stay in the course, like.
It's also, what else do you have to do? Some people don't have shit to do, and it's easy to focus on whatever it is that they want to do.
It's like it's another old saying my dad used to tell me. He was saying like somehow people that have everything on their plate, they have their full schedule booked. They have kids, they have a mortgage, they have all these things. Somehow those people always have room for one more thing. But the person that's doing nothing never has time for anything. You know what I mean?
No, I mean we talk about this a lot, and I agree with that so hard. Dude, I will forever agree with that because I feel
It's
like
weird.
I feel like I keep adding more things to
Yeah.
my plate, but somehow I feel like I have more time.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like I'm adding so much more, but I think it's because as I'm adding more, I'm actually understanding what time
what
means.
it means to use your time
Time.
wisely.
That's what. Yeah. I'm like, oh fuck, I need to I can't keep doing this bullshit.
Right.
So I think that's a part of it too. Is like as I'm adding more things, I'm actually being able to manage that. Because I mean, when I first started adding all this stuff, I'm still getting better at it, but it was a bit a mess. You know what I mean?
I mean,
saying
you're talking to somebody who's working 40 hours a week is like adding something into their life. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like I used to fucking work at a restaurant where I would have 3 shifts a week and call in for 2 of them. Like honestly, like working 4 to 5 days a week is an absolute like difference of like a life change for me.
That's fair. I mean, what was this last semester? 40 hours a week. You
Plus
know,
your
plus my
schooling.
school, still hitting the gym. You know what I mean? Doing all that good stuff. And you know, I don't know anyone who knows anything about working in the service industry. You get out late. You get out late as shit. But you gotta work through that. It's figuring that out, and it's crazy because it is those people, bro. It's always the fucking people who don't do shit, bro. That don't like they don't really doing anything. It's because they love to do nothing. But that's as simple as it is. The people who love to do nothing will always just do nothing. You know, they're like, I have something I need to do because they just love doing nothing. They love to do nothing. That's why they have something come up all the time. Is because they don't want to do anything. I mean, but once again, there's always exceptions to the rule. That goes back to, you know, when we're saying like people in depressive states or people, you know, that have really bad anxiety. A lot of those people, it's hard for them to, you know, do things. But I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about people who blatantly just are lazy, like the people who don't have a condition. And of course, I mean, there are the people who could be like, I have it, undiagnosed, just to say, you know. But there are
Self-diagnosed.
there are some people out there that just don't want to do shit.
Yeah.
They just don't want to do shit.
I mean,
They don't want to make time for anything.
you could blame them all you want, but it could easily just be like a product of their environment. You know, I mean, like
That is true.
We live in a society where you are rewarded with money for being good at video games.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's hard to tell a person that's making more money than you that they're wasting their life.
Oh, I wouldn't. I mean, that's different though.
Because I mean, well, no, I know it's different. What I'm saying is that because of that, these people live in a society where they're like, oh, to make money, that means you're successful. I can make money by doing nothing but playing video games and just sitting in this room all day. So that means I'm successful. You know what I mean? It's like you're a product of your environment at that point because you think being successful is making money because we live in a capitalistic society. But that's not necessarily the case. Being successful is not just providing for you and your family and whoever you can help at that time, but it's also doing the work on a societal basis to see what you can actually provide non-monetarily for your community, for your family, for yourself. Like there is a certain self-love in connecting with other people.
Yeah.
And if you're unwilling to do that, it's not necessarily your fault. I mean, sometimes it is. But also, again, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you were born in a family where you were encouraged to stay inside and read and do nothing and connect with nobody. And now you may be a very intellectual person, but how are your societal skills? Are you doing anything for your community because you feel like you should? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like motivation gets kind of skewed. You know what I mean? Like, it's good that Bill and Melinda Gates provided whatever amount of money for whatever, but like, what was the motivation behind it? Was it to sell some more shit on Microsoft? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like, it just seems like there's so many incentives for the people that have motive to do these things, if that makes sense. Whereas you rarely see the person that works a 40-hour week with 6 kids at the fucking soup kitchen.
Those are the people that we don't give enough credit to either.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. The people whose motivation is purely and simply helping someone.
People would rather suck the skin off of Elon Musk's cock than fucking give actual, you know, credit to the people that go out there every day. And actually, you know, it's the people. It's weird because it's something in the human mind. I don't know. I know there's got to be scientific reasoning behind it, but it's like someone who's just your everyday person you look at, you see every day, right? You would rather not give them praise, but someone who you don't know at all, who somehow, they make all this money, you assume that they just have the answers. You know what I mean? You'd rather like, that's the guy, or that's the woman.
Damn.
She's the one.
Yeah.
It's weird how that works. But
Yeah.
it more times than not, it's the person you do see every day. That's the person that's holding that,
Right.
like holding the community together.
And that's another reason why it's like, I don't
It's each
know.
and every
I
one of
wish-
us.
I wish we could like change, like if there was anything that you could change about the world, like I don't know what yours would be, but mine would be like the way that we glorify certain jobs, the way that we glorify athletes, celebrities, musicians, things like this, like and give no credit to teachers, service jobs, fucking shit, nurses, fucking doctor. Well, I mean, doctors get some credit, but like there are certain jobs that are absolutely necessary for our society to run the way that it runs that get absolutely no glorification for running our society.
Bro, every day. Whenever we started this podcast, that's one thing I've been working towards. Even now, I mean, I want having more people that are the fucking blue collar, I guess,
Mhm.
so to speak. I guess as a teacher, white collar is that
No, white collar, I believe, is suits.
suits and like
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay,
like white shirt
shirts.
under
Yeah,
your
that makes
jacket.
sense.
Blue
Yeah.
collar is like, I don't even know if teachers blue collar. I don't know if
What's
it
a
follows
teacher?
under either.
Let's find out. I was like, I honestly don't know that shit either.
Is
If I'm being,
teaching blue collar, or white
but it's
collar?
I mean, those people are the ones that kind of, deserve more. Even plant workers, like I don't enjoy that system of work. It's not for me, and I'll be the first to admit it. But honest,
A teacher's job is gray collar.
the fuck
Because
is
it doesn't demand quite a few years of traditional schooling and isn't a very physical or dirty job, which points to being a white collar job. However, teachers are typically given low salaries and they don't work in an office setting.
I
There's
guess
also a pink collar, which I don't know what this is. Let's find out.
gray collar is usually used to describe elderly individuals.
Blue collar is skilled or unskilled manual labor.
What is white collar?
most blue collar?
I thought blue collar work was.
Like plant work and shit like that. That's all
Yeah.
blue collar.
Oh, you said unskilled labor,
I said skilled and unskilled labor, manual labor.
manual labor. Yeah.
White
okay.
collar is generally seen as the high-paying office-based workers with above-average salaries and other benefits. Profession, managerial, and administrative work. And then where's pink collar? Oh, here we go. A pink collar worker has a position that is traditionally filled by a woman. All right, so it's sexist. Meaning to truly understand what a pink collar job is and how it's separated from blue collar jobs, we have to go back to a time when women in the workforce were rare and often frowned upon. Okay. So it absolutely is not racist, sexist.
oh, like nursing,
Refers to a job that is seen as female oriented.
nursing.
A man can choose to enter a pink collar job, but this is very often rare. In some cases, companies or employers hiring for jobs that fall into the pink collar category put female as a hard requirement for getting the position. So not just nursing, like
Babysitting.
preschool, babysitting, florists, caregiving, fucking waitresses.
Oh, that's weird.
That's what I'm saying. Bank
That's a-
tellers is pink collar. I feel like that's pretty gender neutral.
I'd say no, like back in the day, I could see that maybe, but yeah, I mean for sure now that would be very. I mean you.
cheerleader is on here. All right.
Yeah, now we're just making shit up, but yeah, no, it's
Oh shit! There's every collar. There's gold collar, gray collar, black collar, red collar, scarlet collar, orange collar, green collar, and no collar.
people are just making shit up. All right, I think there was the two originals. There's the OG. We're sticking with those. We're sticking with
No
the
collar is
white.
artists and other workers who aren't interested in financial gain and work for passion and personal growth instead.
That's me. No collar, baby. You
They-
can't hold this motherfucker down.
Said they aren't unemployed, but they don't work for payment either.
Well, that's not me. I work for payment. I for
That's
sure work
probably
for
like
money
a,
to
that's
survive.
probably like an internship at a studio type of thing. You know what I mean?
I'm no collar. I'm not a dog. You can't put me on a leash, motherfucker. Fuck you, dude.
Well, hell yeah.
Can't hold me down in
You'll
this
learn something
system.
new every day. They have a color for every color in the rainbow except for purple.
Hey, purple's kind of sick.
I fuck with purple, dude.
Dude, honestly, fuck the system. I've said it so many times. I just want to. I mean, I'll say it forever. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad to have I'm happy to have a roof over my head. I'm glad that I'm able to live. I just don't like the circumstances in which they hold us to what living is. That is where I don't agree with a lot of things. And for those of you who may be like, be grateful. I'm grateful to be alive every day. I'm grateful to have the people in my life. I'm grateful for all the love that surrounds me. I'm grateful for all of you that watch this podcast. But what I am not grateful for is fucking inflation, the economy being so shit. I'm not grateful for war. Not grateful for hate. Not grateful
These are some good ones.
for brutality of the
good.
police variety. I'm not grateful for law enforcement that enforces dumbass laws.
Yeah, I'm with that.
Or tries to force some stupid shit. Let me live.
Yeah,
Let me live.
I feel that. I mean,
Let us be free. And if you stand with me,
liberty for one, liberty for all.
liberty for all. Let's stand up. I got a little too excited there for a second. Please forgive me. But
No, I feel you though. Anti-establishment as fuck.
I know people like, hey, fucking, I hate anti-establishment. Like, all I'm saying is if we came together as a community and we showed a little bit more love towards one another and realized what that really meant and showed some compassion and some care, help lift each other up instead of tearing each other down and thinking that some office job sending emails for $200,000 a year was more productive somehow than the person who's raising our children and basically has our whole education in their hands. I think we've lost our way just a little bit on that.
I feel that. I mean, maybe more than a little bit.
And I think also, when I was going to police officers should serve our community. I am the community. We are the community. They should serve us.
What would you tip your police officers
I
if they
paid-
did serve you?
Dude, I'd tip them if they actually served me. I'd serve them. Fucking, I'm shit. 20%.
20%.
20%. Motherfucker.
What if
Nah.
you had to tip your police officers on top of the ticket?
Oh, fuck you, dude. Hell no, dude.
0% tip every time. Here's a tip, asshole.
How about you take this tip, motherfucker? I pay tax dollars for.
I'd rather not, but I do.
I need to know how that logistically works out, like, because it's just
Where's my money going?
how do I pay tax dollars? I think it's the same argument everyone complains. I pay tax dollars, and you can arrest me,
What was
motherfucker. I am your boss. I
what was
pay
that,
tax dollars. Streets aren't getting fixed. Schools aren't getting fucking shit.
During the American Revolution, what was it? It was no taxation without representation. If I can't be on the police board, then I don't want to pay taxes.
No, yeah, it was there was a bunch of politicians trying to say recently, age of voting should be 21. It's like, okay, then why 18-year-olds getting taxed?
Yeah, asshole.
Taxation without no taxation without representation, motherfuckers. Assholes. Yeah, fuck capitalism, bro.
Shit, I think it's even weird that I might need to look this up, but I was under the impression that if you get emancipated, that you are at that point privy to taxation.
Yeah, that would make
That
sense.
means that at 15,
16 or 15?
you can get emancipated.
That's fucking insane, dude. And representation. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for competitive markets. I think competitive markets help, breed. I do think they help breed innovation, but I think whenever profits are at the forefront of a lot of that, then we lose a lot of innovation and creativity. And I will stand by that. I will hold true to that, and I will stand by that. But also, find things you love, find people you love around you, lift up your community, be there for each other, do what you can.
What
to
the
show
fuck?
a little
It
compassion.
says how do taxes work if you're emancipated? It says that some teenagers are having difficult situations that lead to them declaring themselves independent from their family, i.e. emancipated. how does that affect your taxes? And right here it says, that's a very interesting question. I Googled it, and it seems Google doesn't know. And if Google doesn't even know, this must be serious.
Holy shit. That means someone's getting fucked somewhere in there. 100%. If Google's not posting it, it's definitely someone's getting screwed. Like, the lines are a little blurry, so we don't want to
We're
really
gonna keep it that way, actually.
We don't want to make any for sure
we don't want to
statement.
clear anything up, actually.
We don't want to. Yeah, we don't want to have anyone say anything about it or know anything about it. We're gonna fuck these kids.
We're gonna fuck them. Well, not like that. but-
Not like well, shit. I don't know these politicians
Fair. Shit.
these days. These people in
Might go
power.
a little out of character, eh?
People should not have
There's
that much
in
power,
character.
nor should they have that much money.
No one man should have all that power.
Look at hey.
I
he's-
miss the old Kanye.
Look at, oh my god. But it's crazy though. No one should have that much money. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care. You're like, I could have that much. No.
I'll have it. I'll protect it. From
Why
you.
should anyone have over $1 billion? For what?
To have $1,000 million? Like if you had $999 million,
Do you think about having $1 million?
wouldn't you want
but
that extra $1 million?
if you had 1,000 chance, like if you were like, dude, it cost me $1 million, and you had 1,000 chances.
yeah,
Like think about it. If you had if you were a billionaire, you would have 1,000 chances at a $1 million ring toss.
put it this way: if you were a billionaire, you could successfully spend $1 million every day for almost 3 years.
Is that real?
Yes, 365 times 3 is a little over 1,000. So
Well,
for almost 3 years,
to
you
make-
could spend $1 million per
insane.
year.
To make it easier for those who are very
I mean, per day.
moderate people who don't spend a lot, you could spend $1 million a year for 1,000 years. I just want to
Yeah, you could
what
spend.
the fuck?
You could spend $1 million a year for your whole lifetime, and then 9 generations after your lifetime.
You could spend $100 million a year for I think 100 years. Motherfucker, what?
Yeah, no, 100 million for 10 years, because it's 1,000. So you could spend 10 million for 100 years.
Yeah, you're right. 10
Yeah.
million for 100 years. That's still
That's a lot of money.
10 million for 100 years.
100 years, Rick and Morty. 100 years.
Shit,
$1
$100
million.
million. 100 million for 10 years.
That's still a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. But that's like most people who are billionaires, they're making
They're
almost
40.
that yearly though. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean,
Nah,
that's letting your money work for you at that point.
I mean, like, how much was whatchamacallit almost became a billionaire?
Who's what
Jeff
you call it?
Jeff Bezos was almost
He was a billionaire.
trillionaire.
Oh, he was. Yeah, I was gonna say he's still a billionaire. But did you see what as
Yeah, I
soon as
mean-
that divorce happened, he fucking like his wife became the richest woman on the planet.
Yeah, I mean, Elon Musk has more money than he does now.
now
At
after
one.
he had to Splitsville half his shit.
All right, let's just. I know we're getting off topic, but I just want to put this in perspective. This is how sickening this shit is. Jeff Bezos has $112.3 billion
Shout out.
in USD.
Shout out my boss.
So let's take what we just said, and the fact that you could spend $1 million for 1,000 years. Now multiply that by 100. 100,000 years. You could spend
$1 billion every year for
100,000 years. That's fucking stupid. That is dumb.
kind of crazy.
That's fucking nuts. So then what is it? 100 million for what?
1,000 years.
100 million for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
So then
I mean, spending $1 billion for 100 years is kind of crazy.
so then you could probably spend $1 billion for 100 years. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's kind of crazy.
That doesn't even make sense.
It's
You could spend $1 billion every year.
for 100 years
For
straight.
There's no
And
possible
still not be
way.
depleted because his money's working for him every year, so he's cashing in a little bit every year. So by the time he gets to that 100th year, he probably still has another $1 billion to
Nah,
spend.
but look, this is the thing though. Is even if he spent $1 billion for the next 100 years, he would still have $12.3 billion as of right now without any extra money.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But
Without making any
additionally-
extra.
But additionally, he would still be making some along that line, a lot along that line. So, I mean, it's almost an indescribably infinite amount of money because you could almost not spend that in your lifetime or your child's lifetime or even their child's lifetime if you try.
I don't think he could spend that in his lifetime if he tried.
Mean, he could if he went to like monopolize the world. Say he buys Amazon, or wait, does he have Amazon? Which one does he have? Amazon, right?
He's still like in Amazon, but he's not like a.
All right, so say he buys Facebook, Twitter, McDonald's, Walmart, fucking Bank of America, fucking, you know what I mean? Like if he just monopolizes the world and owns everything, then
that might
he
be 10
could
billion of his
spend
dollars.
that. Nah,
Or like 10
Twitter
billion.
was like 45 billion alone, wasn't it?
Yeah,
So I mean, no.
you're right.
If he was to buy
Was it-
multiple social networks, a couple banks.
That shit was 45 billion.
Yeah,
Damn, the CEO made some bread off of that.
I'm pretty sure. Let me look. I got you.
That was-
Twitter sale.
I think it was.
$44 billion.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And I don't know if that's like full ownership. That could just be how much it costs to get the 51% ownership.
But
You know
that
what I
still
mean?
wasn't even that much money though for Elon in the grand scheme, because
Yeah, no. I mean, he's gonna make that back.
Elon
easy.
had $182 billion net worth.
He'll make it back. I mean,
That
probably
means he
within
still
10
has
years.
$140 billion net worth. That's fucking. These people should not have that much money.
I mean, that 180 might be after his deal too. Honestly, so he could have had more, and now he's at 180.
Where I'm at is at what cost do they have that much money? You know,
Your cost?
Yeah.
At my cost, at my expense. I mean,
Exact-
it's our fault. We love all their products. We use Amazon every day. Fucking, not we, but I mean people. We use fucking Twitter every day. We use people buying Teslas left and right. People investing in the Boring Company. People buying those flamethrowers Elon Musk was letting out. People subscribing to the Washington Post. That's Jeff Bezos.
it is, yeah.
I think he has some stock in Whole Foods. I'm pretty sure that's him too. I mean, they're smart people. They invested in things that they figured people would.
But they also were born with a
Well,
lot of money.
Yeah. But I mean, what I'm saying is whenever you're born with a lot of money, you could be stupid and burn it, or be smart and use it to build an empire. And they did that. I'm just saying, it's like, see, it's the thing about like Trump, where they would say like he was gifted $1 million by his father to start his business, and that sounds like a lot of money, right? But at the time when he was given that money, it's actually like, because of the value of the dollar at that time, it was about $400 million in today's value.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That $1 million was about today. What today would be $400 million.
So if he would have really invested that wisely, he would.
He did. He's a billionaire now. But I mean, my point is that it's whenever people say like he turned $1 million into $1 billion, could you do that? It's like, no, he turned $400 million into $1 billion, and I feel like I could do that.
I mean, yeah, if you have that much, I feel like, isn't it like substantially a lot easier?
I mean, yeah, like
When you
once
have
you're
more money?
once you're past a certain threshold, it's like, I feel like once you're past a certain threshold of money, like you don't even buy things anymore. Like people just give you things so that you can advertise for them. You know, like I feel like all these people coming out with like Gucci suits, like top to bottom. It's like, did you buy that, or are you renting that for the day for the photo op?
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like,
If you have a certain amount of money, you might not even be.
Like think about it, like A$AP Rocky, like because of his fucking network, because of how he puts together not just fashion but videos and things like that. I'm sure Balenciaga's just giving him stuff. Hey, put this in your next video. Keep it.
Well, Balenciaga's
But I'm just saying, like,
taking a rougher right now.
well, whoever. I'm just saying, like upper brands that cost a lot of money. He's probably not buying that stuff. Even he could afford to. But I feel like at a certain level, they know he's marketing their clothing so much without them asking him to, that they're just giving it to him.
Same.
I mean, that's obviously speculative, but it just feels that way. It just feels like there's no way these guys can have fucking a new car for every week, or a new fucking
Well, if you're
Da, da, da,
Jeff
da.
Bezos, you could.
Absolutely. I'm talking about a little bit lower level than that. Obviously, if you're just Jeff Bezos, you could have a new car company every week.
Oh, yeah. You could buy out like Ron Carter, I feel like, for little.
Fucking Ron Carter, you could probably buy out Mercedes at this point.
That's fair.
Every location.
Well, to conclude that statement, fuck fucking Big Corps, fuck Big Pharma, fuck
him.
Fuck all these people who take advantage of us. They're not even trying to help us. They fucking hate us, and they're capitalizing off
They
of us.
hate us because they ain't us.
They hate us because they ain't
They're
us.
peanut butter and jelly.
Fuck them, dude. But yeah, big shout out to everyone who's been watching. Shout out to all the listeners. If you're going through stuff right now, reach out if you need to, dude. You're not alone. Much love to all of you guys. Sending all that love to everybody. I hope everyone follows their dreams. Everyone fucking keeps driving for whatever they want in life. Keeps pushing forward. Never gives up, man. Like, for real. Look out for one another. Look out for each other. Look out for your homies. Check up on them. Just shoot a little text if you haven't talked to them in a while. See how they're doing. See if they're okay. Just see what's going on. Why not? It doesn't hurt that much. And you know what? If your friends shoot you something to support, retweet, like that shit, favorite it, share it. It doesn't take that much time to show a little bit of love. We're all arrogant as fuck, though. We think that it's like too much to do that shit, dude. It doesn't. Even people I don't know that much. If the shit's good and they send it to me, guess what? I'm gonna share that shit. Because you know what? We're all trying to fucking make it out here. And we all deserve to fucking have a little bit of love in our life and have a little bit of success. It shouldn't just be for the fucking people who have money and have the ability to afford all this fucking big shit. So keep pushing, keep driving. Love you fucking guys. Thank y'all so much. I really appreciate everybody who does take the time out of their day to fucking watch this shit. You guys are fucking awesome. We'll have more episodes coming soon. We're going to have more guests fucking coming soon. This is the Fine and Dandy Podcast. Anything you want to say, Josh, before we sign off? Yeah, we'll all be okay out there. We're all in this together. Yep, it really is. We're all in this together. It's a team effort. We're all in this along the way. If you're watching this, it's not just us. It's not just you. We're all in this fucking together, you guys. Thank you. We'll catch you next week. Y'all take care out there.